迎大家收睇熒幕八爪魚。哇，咁快咧就3月尾啦！每年呢個時候咧，新時代電視都會開一個 party，同電視機前面嘅觀眾朋友一齊玩。冇錯啦，就係久違嘅魅力凝聚新時代。而家咧，只要估中今年嘅嘉賓係邊個，就有機會贏到精美嘅禮品啦！事不宜遲，即刻同大家玩下小遊戲，熱下身先。Yes! 由4月1日起，新時代電視 Facebook 同 Instagram 每日都會 post 一個關於魅力凝聚新時代表演嘉賓嘅提示，觀眾可以將4個正確答案喺4月9號晚上11點59分之前，連同姓名、電話同所屬地區 DM 到我哋嘅 Facebook 同埋 Instagram， 就有機會參加抽獎，贏得明星簽名限量版紀念品啊！唔想錯過呢個年度盛事呢，大家要記得把握機會啦！講到香港嘅一代傳奇，仲要同溫哥華有啲淵源嘅，你又會諗到邊一個呢？ UBC 最近呢就搞咗個展覽，就係紀念佢逝世嘅20週年，不如即刻咧就同大家去睇下啦！
哥哥咧生前咧就係香港一位好出名嘅明星啦，咁佢係歌影藝嘅事業咧都係非常之震撼嘅。
在世間尋覓愛侶，尋獲了但求。
4月1號係香港已故巨星哥哥張國榮逝世20週年。哥哥嘅成就不單止局限喺香港或者亞洲，佢嘅作品喺全球屢獲殊榮，歌迷遍佈世界各地。
今年我哋2023年啦，咁其實就係哥哥張國榮離開我哋20週年啦。咁我哋喺加拿大溫哥華咧，就覺得我哋可以做一個展覽去紀念佢啦，亦都係因為佢曾經喺加拿大留過唔少嘅足跡嘅。咁呢個展覽咧就係由亞洲圖書館同埋亞洲研究系喺卑斯大學裏面舉行啦。咁樣呢個展覽咧就係有分5部分嘅，咁就會關於張國榮喺嘅生平啦，張國榮嘅音樂事業啦、電影事業啦，同埋佢嘅多樣身份啦，同埋佢喺加拿大溫哥華嘅生活嘅。
展覽將重點放喺哥哥演藝生涯嘅黃金時期。
咁展品咧就包括咗有大約9張嘅電影原裝海報，咁係由 University of Virginia 特別去借出嚟做一個展覽嘅。咁亦都包括咗接近30張嘅 CD、LD 同埋電影光碟等等，仲有展報啦，係關於張國榮喺加拿大嘅生活啊、電影活動啊等等咧嘅資料嘅。咁仲有一系列嘅書籍都係因為今次嘅展覽咧而特別去展出嘅。咁呢個就要多謝由社區嘅人士、唔同嘅收藏家啦，咁佢哋好慷慨咁樣借出咗佢哋嘅私人珍藏啦，等我哋喺呢個 UBC 嘅亞洲圖書館裏面咧可以展出，令到更多嘅觀眾係影迷、戲迷或者對張國榮有興趣嘅朋友咧都可以欣賞到。
這一生也在進取，這分鐘卻掛念誰？我會說是唯獨你不可失去。
其實張國榮同埋加拿大嘅淵源都係好深嘅。佢1989年嘅告別演唱會裏面咧，提出咗呢一樣佢會喺溫哥華開展一個新生活，同埋退出樂壇呢一個消息嘅。咁佢亦都有佢嘅戲，其實喺溫哥華度就進行首映嘅。咁包括東邪西毒啦、霸王別姬等等。咁當然啦，佢喺1990年至1992年喺溫哥華嘅生活裏面，咁佢都有講到佢比較低調嘅生活啦。咁佢中意去 Stanley Park 嗰度飲茶同埋睇海景。咁去到之後，佢嘅影迷都因為咁樣而去到呢個 Stanley Park 嗰度，喺張長凳嗰度做咗一個紀念。咁而家呢張長凳都係喺 Stanley Park 嗰度可以揾到嘅。
展期由即日起至4月6號，仲有1個星期嘅時間，大家記得唔好錯過啦！哥哥係好多人心裏永恆嘅經典，為咗紀念呢位樂壇巨星逝世20週年，新時代電視2台特別呈現《永遠寵愛張國榮》，除咗會播出哥哥多首經典金曲，包括由零開始。 當年情等嘅精華片段外，仲有哥哥以往喺無線大 show 嘅精彩演出，突顯哥哥嘅多才多藝。仲有活潑可愛嘅一面，播出數碼修復過後嘅經典片段等等。4月1號同8號，等我哋一齊永遠寵愛張國榮。唔止 fans party 大送禮物，連1年1度嘅 Real to Real 青少年國際電影節都有飛想送俾大家。主辦單位 Real to Real 係一個非牟利機構，多年嚟一直將電影節嘅票價壓到最低，俾更多人，尤其係學生同青少年可以負擔得起。而今年主辦單位將會喺3月28號至4月6號舉行，帶嚟自20個國家，超過10部電影同40條短片，其中有15部作品更係本土製作添。就好似呢部 Senna Empress of the Sea 就係 Made in Canada， 亦成為開幕電影之一。睇完之後仲有得同導演 Q&A。而我哋新時代傳媒集團就特別推薦長片《新神榜》楊戩、短片《流雲過》同埋《存在》。有我哋嘅專業推介，係咪好想即刻參加呢個盛典呢？只要上 fairchildtv.com 度寫出其中一部由華裔電影人參與嘅作品名稱，就有機會得到一套4張家庭套票㗎喇。一到春天咧，成個城市都好似換咗新面貌一樣。而我自己咧都心思思想同自己屋企嚟個大改造。日前舉辦嘅 The BC Home and Garden Show 咧就好識做，佢放置咗一系列好啱春天嘅家品俾大家去參考同埋選購。即刻同大家去現場睇下啦！充滿春日氣息嘅 The BC Home and Garden Show 號召咗唔少人嚟到現場。放眼望過去，呢個家居庭園都好迎合今年主題 Ribbons of Green。不過講到今年嘅家居潮流走勢，就要等專業人士嚟講下啦。
And we help people organize and declutter their homes. We've been doing it for 14 years. I have an Instagram though that helps everybody across the world because everybody has this problem. It doesn't matter if your house is small or your house is big.Everybody has issues on how to let go of things. And you cannot organize, clean, or tidy your house until you've decluttered. So decluttering has to happen first. And often what happens is we get in our own way and we don't know how to declutter because we don't know how to let go. So what I talk about on Instagram, and I have how-to guides on my website, is the tips and tricks on how to let go. Because often we hang on to things because we're scared to let go of fear. We're scared to let go. So we hang on to them because they're sentimental or because we paid too much money. And what happens is there's a cost to all the clutter in our homes. It costs us our time, our money, our relationships, our mental health, our physical health. All this stuff builds up and there's a cost. So what we do is we help people decide how to get rid of things and how to let go. So that's what I'm here to talk about today at the home show. And there's lots of booths that are here to show people how to have more of an efficient house, how to have more sustainable house, and really how to have the house that you really want and the house you want to live in. And that's what I do every day, is help people get to the house that they really want. So the theme this year, I think, is gardening, renovations, making the house that you want to have your house. Now, I talk on stage about decluttering and letting go and organizing, but really that's what you're doing when you're walking around the show, is you're getting ideas for your house so that you can make your house the house that you really want, the house that you want to live in, and you can feel happy in your house.
睇到呢度，你係咪都同我一樣好想大執屋企呢？不妨聽下啱先 Megan 嘅建議，改造一下屋企啦。最近好多大型嘅活動同埋展覽都喺溫哥華舉行。除咗啱先嘅 The BC Home and Garden Show， 仲有美國熱門嘅極限運動 The Monster Jam。唔知今次佢哋會為大家帶嚟乜嘢嘅驚喜同埋表演呢？即刻同大家去睇下啦！怪獸卡車 Monster Jam 呢個極限挑戰運動多年嚟一直備受吹捧，為咗做出更精彩、更瘋狂嘅表演，所有車手都要接受重量訓練等身體極限嘅挑戰。佢哋每年都會進行至少325場嘅演出，而啱啱就完成溫哥華站嘅競賽。
I'm excited. So I was here a couple years ago. I got to do the stadium in Vancouver and the arena. So it's awesome for me because I'm Canadian. So for me, it's like my hometown.
超乎想像嘅引擎聲、狂野嘅卡車跳躍、跨過超高障礙物、各種花式表演令人目不暇給。現場嗰種震撼感真係冇辦法齋用言語嚟形容啊！
Oh, a lot of action. You have some of the best lineup of driver here in this arena. The dirt's going to be awesome. It's really tacky. So I think that's going to have some big air, a lot of action, maybe some backflip. And I love to do some big sky wheelies, so a lot of action. So my truck was created last year. It's a big semi-truck because the owner of Lucas Oil used to be a driver of a semi-truck, and he had the issue of the engine always getting hot, so he came up with a product that was a stabilizer to make the truck run better. So it's just we're bringing back the history of how the company of Lucas Oil got created.
My truck is brand new. This is the first time we've had it here in Canada. It's called Thunder Roarus, and we brought the fans' favorite two things, dinosaurs and Monster Jam together to create this truck. It's a steel dinosaur. Super exciting. The fans love it. I love the colors of it. When we pull out on that floor, the crowd absolutely roars for it. It gets me excited, gets me pumped up. I'm a little bit different driver than the rest. A lot of drivers kind of wild and crazy. I like to think out my run. I like to know what I'm going to hit. I'm very intricate in what I do. I try and set the truck up. I try and downside stuff, kind of fly the truck a little bit if you will. I actually use the brake and the throttle both to kind of keep the truck level. The big 66-inch VKT tires are like gyros on there, so I'm able to use those, and I like to use that in my aspect of driving.
要控制咁大架卡車，其實等同賣命咁演出一樣。相信各位選手都係抱住同常人非一般嘅喜愛，先可以樂在其中。
You know, I'm actually a second-generation driver. I grew up in this industry. My dad was one of the first drivers to ever even have a monster truck. It was called King Crunch. My favorite part about Monster Jam and competing is actually the fans. When we're out there getting wild and crazy, I'm super excited. My adrenaline is up. But I'll tell you, when I hear that roar of the crowd, I absolutely get super pumped, and it's one of my favorite parts. When I go out there and hear that roar, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to, and I'm super excited.
佢哋之後仲會喺其他城市進行比賽，一齊去睇下呢個狂野嘅卡車大比鬥啦！電視轉播同埋親身去睇真係爭好遠㗎，就好似 Monster Jam 咁，未入去啊就已經要先戴耳塞啦。Rick， 你哋多倫多嗰邊係咪都有活動要親身去先可以感受到嗰種氣氛㗎？
你咁都知嘅 Vicky， 大家對龍呢個傳說都唔陌生㗎啦，但又有邊個真係親眼見過感受佢嘅王者氣場呢？所以我哋就準備咗一個有關龍嘅沉浸式戲劇體驗俾大家，千祈唔好行開啦！轉頭返嚟，我哋繼續熒幕八爪魚。 聖 Patrick's Day 大遊行終於返嚟多倫多啦！呢一日，多倫多市中心俾市民以及巡遊隊伍佔據，成為一片綠色海洋啊！綠色全部都係綠色，喺聖 Patrick's Day， 綠色成功佔領多倫多啊！聖 Patrick's Day 起源於愛爾蘭，係一個基督教嘅宗教節日。喺呢一日， 愛爾蘭民眾有佩戴三葉草飾物、穿戴綠色嘅習慣。1863年，多倫多第一次舉辦聖 Patrick's Day 大遊行。自此之後，活動嘅規模不斷升級，成為咗唔少多倫多人嘅共同回憶。過去幾年，活動由於疫情原因無奈暫停。上年活動第一次回歸，而今年繼續盛況，大家都非常期待啊！
I live here for 45 years, so I come in almost every year. I never miss, except in the all the thing we pass, but every year I come in here. I have fun. I like it.
Well, it's great. It's the first time we are here. We are from Italy, so that's going to be something very important and very nice to see.
I'm glad there's a good crowd here. Not everyone was afraid to come out in the cold. All around a quarter after 11. I walked down from Bay and just kept walking down and have my layers on. I'm all ready for the parade. It's exciting.
參與遊行嘅市民個個都有備而嚟，一早就擔定凳仔霸位睇遊行花車。 遊行路線起點從聖 George 夾 Bloor West 開始，沿住 Young 街以及 Queen 街至倫敦菲臘廣場為終點。雖然話聖 Patrick's Day 起源於愛爾蘭，不過嚟到北美洲最多元化嘅城市多倫多，活動都加入咗唔少特別元素啊！有日本文化組織為活動帶嚟滿滿東瀛風，你仲可以見到中國絲綢燈玩轉聖 Patrick's Day。除咗人類，狗狗都可以係遊行隊伍嘅一員。正如 Banner 話齋，嚟得參與嘅都係自己人啊！驚喜陸續有嚟，銀色貓王鍋爆登場，交織復古以及未來感。中世紀打扮嘅遊行隊伍，一瞬間就帶我哋穿越時空，返到聖 Patrick's Day 起源嘅年代。幾十個遊行，個個新鮮，個個都有驚喜。出年嘅遊行又會係點呢？相信大家同我一樣都非常期待啊！位於多倫多市中心嘅 Spadina 博物館係一座著名歷史遺址，見證城市嘅發展。最近一位黑人藝術家就用佢嘅最新展覽，試圖改寫博物館歷史話。Spadina 博物館係多倫多其中一個重要嘅歷史遺址。呢座豪宅曾經屬於富裕嘅 Austin 家族。參觀嘅遊客可以透過博物館內唔同嘅房間，以及為家族工作嘅工人嘅視覺，了解20世紀嘅多倫多。今次展覽由黑人藝術家 Gordon Shadrick 策劃，佢用藝術品為 Spadina 博物館創造出一個平衡宇宙，將呢座充滿歷史豪宅嘅主人變為廢除黑人奴隸主義嘅 Pekin 夫人。
We have a wonderful exhibition called Dismantle, and it takes this traditional historic house, which was the home of the Austin family, but it reimagines it as if it were the home of a Mrs. Louisa Pipkin. Louisa Pipkin was a freedom seeker who came to Canada from America where she had been enslaved, and we know that she worked as a laundress for the Austin family. We really wanted to focus the narratives on members of the Black community and to look at their experiences, thinking about resilience and the histories that have often been hidden or are less well known. So by centering Mrs. Louisa Pipkin, a real historical figure, but thinking about how the house might have looked differently if she had been the owner, we have this wonderful immersive exhibition that is filled with art, portraiture, ceramics that begin to look at and examine these themes and ask people to think about that history more deeply.
雖然展覽係一個不同於現實世界嘅平衡宇宙，但係當中出現嘅人物其實都係真實存在㗎。
Is the way in which it uses art to think about these histories. And the exhibition was conceived by Umbreen Anayat and the lead artist Gordon Shadrack. So they came up with the idea and concept, and Gordon created 17 new pictures especially for the exhibition. A lot of those show members of Toronto's contemporary Black community, whether they be some of the Raptors players or people who have really excelled within their field. So Tanisha Scott, an incredible choreographer, or Dean Dory Tunstall, who runs the School of Design at OCAD-U. And it's fantastic to see these people represented in the portraits and being able to think about their stories and journeys in this historic house.
由於遊客反應熱烈，展覽將會延長到5月28號，有興趣嘅朋友記得留意啦。多倫多所處嘅地方喺以前又被叫做 Turtle Island。藝術家用一幅幅作品帶大家穿越時空，返到多倫多仲係 Turtle Island 年代啊！ A Portrait of Turtle Island Art Exhibition 多倫多印象藝術展展示多倫多原住民藝術家作品。展覽聚焦兩位有影響力嘅林地派藝術家 Norval 以及 John， 透過佢哋嘅創作，帶大家了解原住民眼中嘅 Turtle Island。
This month we're running a very special exhibition. We titled it A Portrait of Turtle Island. It is showcasing Indigenous cultures from across Canada. We're showing two very prominent historical Ojibwa Canadian artists, Norval Morisseau and John Eric Laforde. And we're very privileged to have these works in our gallery. Definitely Norval Morisseau. He was the originator of a whole school or style of Indigenous art. It was known as the Woodland School, and his work influenced 3 generations of contemporary Indigenous artists. Norval Morisseau also was the first contemporary Indigenous artist in Canada to receive national exhibition, a major retrospective exhibition at the National Gallery of Canada in Ottawa in 2006, which traveled to the Smithsonian Institute in New York as well. He paved the way for generations of contemporary Indigenous artists in Canada.
呢啲珍貴嘅藝術品，除咗用於展覽，有興趣仲可以將佢哋帶返屋企㗎。就連主辦單位都話呢啲機會絕對千載難逢，非常難得啊！
It's quite rare to have 7 original Morisseau canvases in a commercial gallery. They're all beautiful in their own manner. I think we could speak about this large striking canvas behind us called Turtle Spirit. It has all the indicators of very visually arresting Morisseau painting. Norval Morisseau was original in his style for Indigenous artists of the time in the 1950s and 60s.
經典永流傳，出色嘅藝術作品可以跨越時間、文化嘅界限，相信喺不久嘅將來都會遇到屬於佢嘅知音人啊！中國人又被稱為龍的傳人，喺大家嘅想像中，龍又係點樣嘅生物呢？最近一場活動就用高科技將想像世界嘅龍帶到現實啊！多倫多著名景點卡薩魯瑪又有新搞作啊！今次主辦方將呢度變成中世紀城堡。不過故事嘅主角就唔係等待王子拯救嘅公主，而係一班噴火巨龍以及勇敢騎士啊！
Imagine Dragons experience is a wonderful of activities for people that are centered around the themes of dragons, medieval castles, and knights in shining armor. It's an absolute spectacular event, starting in the conservatory where we have the tale of 2 brothers, and these are 2 gentlemen who are jousting, and then we move into the library where we've got night school, so we can actually give the kids some Nerf weapons and teach them how to be knights, and we knight them Knights of Casaloma, onto the Casaloma minstrels where they can enjoy some medieval music, but also some basic understanding of how instruments evolved over the years. And then that segues them into our aerialist, who gives everybody the right kickoff to their path through the tunnels, where they get to see dragons and fire and knights and all battles, all that kind of stuff that brings them to the Casaloma Hotel, where they get to do dragon-themed crafts. Up here to our fabulous carriage house, where we've got the dragon's den, the dragon protecting all of her babies and battling the knights of medieval times.
正如主辦方所講，城堡嘅每一個角落都有活動俾各位小朋友體驗。不過最受歡迎嘅當然就係呢條通往噴火龍巢穴嘅地道啦。地道全長800尺，牆壁透過投影營造出震撼光影效果。行到盡頭嘅空間，擺放咗各種巨型互動式火龍裝置。喺呢度，小朋友可以先睹為快睇到即將喺戲院上映嘅電影《龍與地下城：盜亦有道》預告片，仲可以真實體驗唔少電影中嘅場景，成為屠龍故事中嘅小小主角。活動雖然已經結束，不過想繼續同噴火龍以及騎士嘅冒險，大家不妨到戲院支持電影啦！文明不如見面，有埋光影聲效果嘅加持，呢條龍果然夠晒震撼啊 ！Vicky 有機會你都要嚟多倫多體驗下。
一定會啦 ，Rick。 多倫多嘅春天咧，應該咧同溫哥華一樣咁好玩嘅。我哋呢邊咧都啱啱踏入咗櫻花嘅季節，我哋唔等你哋先搶先賞櫻啦。咁今集時間咧，熒幕八爪魚又差唔多啦，我哋下個星期同樣時間再見啦，拜拜。